Hello everybody, I'm Buzz, and let's take a look at some Genesis style tanks, atomizers. Uh, they're all feeding systems. They're all the ones I have are all bottom feeding systems. So let's kind of take a look at what we got. We've got a Atom, comes from S&S Mods. Chopper makes these, and then we got an IHybrid. Faceless makes these. Let's see, what else do we got? We got a Zap or a Z-Atty Pro, and we have a Orion, and it's from No Smoker. And the Z-Atty Pro is a Genesis product. I think everybody knows that. Okay, let's take a look at the first one. That's the Atom. I don't think they make the Atom anymore. It's called an Atom Bomb now. And see, the Atom had two posts on it. You just wrap the wires around, versus now I think they have some screws and a different top cap that's a little bit different. And let's take a look. You know, the Genesis, you make a stainless steel wick, or you put a fiberglass wick in it, or you know, cotton wick, whatever you like. I don't like the flavor of those when you get a dry hit, so I stick with the stainless. And there's how they work. You just wrap some Canthal or nichrome wire around the wick after you stick it in there, and that's all there is to it. It has a top cap, has a hole in it that kind of adjusts your draw. This one is fairly straightforward, and that's what you get. Produces a lot of vapor, really great flavor, and about $70, maybe 60, I can't remember. Anyway, they're on the lower end price wise, but it's got a plastic tank, or polycarbonate tank, and it's made out of chrome. And Chopper, the guy that makes these, he makes them all one at a time by hand. Okay, next we have the IHybrid. They're about, right now I think they're like $215, and there's lots of options for these. You can get these are kickable. You can put this tube with a 18350 battery in it and a kick. This happens to have an 18650 in it right now, so we're using the unregulated battery mode. It has a sleeve tank protector on there. I didn't really like the way that looks myself, so I bought a thread protector to put on it, and that was fairly cheap. It wasn't, I think, $10, $5. It's just a little aluminum collar, so it doesn't cost very much. It has a stainless cap on it. The top part of it's stainless, the bottom end's aluminum. You can get an 18650 tube and put a kick in it with that. There's lots of ways to go on that. You can put a shorter tube on it and have a mini version and have a 18350 in it, or 18350. 18500. You can use a bunch of different battery configurations in this. Okay, and how does it vape? See, I left this one get low on juice on purpose. You can see that it works when it gets low. You just kind of tip it up. Works pretty well also. Let's take a look at how that one works. See all the vapor coming out of that. And same thing, nice flavor. One of the difference of these is you can rotate your top cap. I like keeping it lined up with a wick. That gives me maybe a little less throat hit, but a lot more flavor. As you rotate it further around, you get more throat hit, a little less vapor, and that's how that works. This one, it has a lock on the switch. It's mechanical. You just press it, real simple. Nice design. Everything works well on this. Okay, next let's do the Z-Atty Pro. It's made by Genesis. It's made exclusively for the Provari, but if you have a mod that's not the same diameter, it's a smaller diameter than this, or the same, it'll work on that. But it's pretty much made for the Provari. And let's take a look at that. Makes a lot of vapor. I really like that. Good flavor. That one's $150 for just the Addy here. And see, we'll show you here. It just screws right onto the Provari. Has a skirt on it, so it's made to fit on here just right. And I like all my Genesis Addys. They all work pretty well. Took me about a month of messing with one and going back to it. I'd get aggravated, and I finally got a system down, and I can make coils and wicks and oxidize them and do all that, and they all come out pretty good the first time I make them now, so I don't have to keep messing with it. One of the nice things about ones that fit onto a regular mod, it's easy. I mean, you don't have to get out your meter or own a meter if you own a mod that has Atomizer resistance. So check battery, Atomizer resistance, 2.3 ohms. So that now we know what to set our voltage at. Okay, finally we have the Orion. It's made by a no smoker in Germany, and compact. And this one's a V2. One of the differences between this and the newer versions, or the older versions, is the buttons recessed a little bit. It has a electronic button, and I have it set up for 18650, but you can put in a 18350 also if you want the mini. And this one, it doesn't, the cap threads on. See there, they all produce good vapor. The threaded on cap, you can mess with it a little bit. A lot of people like it to line up with the button. I like it to be on the wick. You can do things. You can sand down your tank a little bit to make it line up just exactly where you want it. You could get a poly tank and put it on there. This is a fused quartz tank or a glass tank. And here's how this one vapes. very, very nice also. Very good flavor. This one will cost you about, when you can catch it, there's a place in Germany that sells them. 310 Vapor sells them. They're about $250. So they're definitely higher end, but they're all made pretty nice craftsmanship, attractive mods. This one, I would say, out of all of them, is probably the most pocket friendly, although they will leak if you tip them upside or sideways and hold them that way for a while. They all, I don't know if I showed the Z-Atty Pro without the, or the Zap without the cap on it. I can't remember. You can see there, it really throws out the vapor too. And that's really all I want to do. Just a quick look at some of the options that are out there. They're fairly accessible Genesis Atties. They're all made in limited quantities when they sell them, so got to be diligent. Keep an eye on their site if you want to buy one. Hang in there, or check out the forums with the classifieds. They sell them on those quite a bit. And S&S mods, they keep a fairly decent amount of stock, and they all have, depending on mod to mod, some of them have a little bit cooler vapor. Some of them, the vapor seems a little bit warmer. I think the Orion is a little warmer because, personally, my opinion, the top cap's a little smaller. So, and it has a 3 mil tank, and this one has a 4 or 5 mil tank. I can't remember. Anyway, their theory is the 3 mil tank makes it wick a little better on the Orion versus the Z-Atty Pro or the IHybrid. And that's just it. Quick look. Something if you're thinking about getting into, I would say go for it. If I would start off with this version, the cheaper version, and work your way up. There's lots of Chinese ones, clones that you can check out. I wouldn't suggest that personally. I try to stick with American-made stuff. Not 100% exclusive to that, but just a good idea. You know what you get. There's some. Chopper has plenty of support if you're having troubles. Shoot him some emails. He'll answer you right away. Okay, so that's my Genesis style hybrid atomizer tank review comparison, however you want to call it. Keep on vaping.